3 players we could see traded this season. Hello Montreal Canadiens fan, how are you? Welcome. Montreal intends to reformulate the team. Today we are going to talk about specific players who can leave the team. It's no secret that the Montreal Canadiens have put an onus on moving out the veterans and building a young, fast, modern lineup. With that, they have traded away most of the bad contracts and opened space for their prospect pool to make its mark. The scenario that presents itself now is players coming along ahead of schedule before the higher-ranked prospects make their NHL debuts, which opens up trade options. So while it's a nod to the great drafting and work of a GM, Kent Hughes, and a VP of hockey operations, Jeff Gorton, it also means there's more work added to the to-do list. There are a couple of guys on the cusp that could steal a spot or force a trade to make room for them. So with that, we will dive into 3 candidates that could be dealt before the end of the 2023-24 campaign. Johnny Kovacevic, as the Habs brass like to call him, was the result of waivers, presenting Hughes with a nice option to plug in on the right side of the blue line. He had a solid season and showed strong chemistry alongside Arber Shrekjoker. The issue with Kovacevic is that if last season was any indication of his growth, the experience gained could see him rise higher, which could result in a trade out of Montreal. The acquisition of Gustav Lindstrom adds another piece to the Canadiens' blue line, who is a righty and is just 24 years old. Add Justin Barron to the mix, who showed improvement during the latter part of the season, and both Logan Mailloux and David Reinbacher in the mix, and there's not much space. Savard is also here, and Weidman, but Kovacevic could garner interest quickly if Hughes decides to make him available. The left side of the blue line is definitely a strength for the Canadiens, and with the top 2 defense pairings set, and no space on the right side, Jordan Harris could be an interesting piece. Harris has shown poise beyond his years, and with his calm, cool play along with a strong stride and excellent edges, Harris should only see his game improve even more this season. Caden Gohl and Mike Matheson are the top 2 left defensemen, and Lane Hutson is likely about a season away, along with Adam Engstrom, so Harris might get squeezed out. While it may be frustrating, Harris doesn't have great size, and Hutson is likely to be the small guy who fits in. Harris doesn't have the tools that Hutson does. Arber Shrekjoker occupies the left side, and he fills a need on the bottom pair. With Lindstrom coming in, he might usurp Harris for the third right defense slot. It's not fun to trade away great players that were developed and drafted within the organization, but hockey is a business. Given his age and Hughes' knowledge of the market, it's more than likely that Harris will nab the Canadiens a solid return. There isn't a more frustrating player on the Canadiens roster than Joel Armia, as he just lacks consistency to a fault. When he is on, he is dominant, and his pursuit to the net is almost unstoppable, as he uses his frame to protect the puck, and his heavy shot can burn goalies from long range. This happens once every 15 to 20 games, then he disappears unless we're discussing his penalty killing, which is a strength in his game. I would think that if Hughes is able to iron out a swap, he would listen to the offer intently. He could be a nice depth piece, who provides help killing penalties. I expect that because of his inconsistencies, he might not command much on the market, but the benefit left behind is an open roster spot. The roster is getting younger, and the best thing for the rebuild is to let the guys who will carry the boat in the future get their reps in. Well, what do you think about this? Do you agree that the departure of these players would be good for the Canadiens? Leave your opinion in the comments, I'd love to know what you think. And stay tuned to the channel because I'm always posting the latest news. Subscribe so you don't miss anything.